shirt on, bro. Do that shit like that. What's good, y'all? It's Middleman TV in the building, and we're back with some boxing topics for your ass. We got a lot to talk about, man. I was gone. I meant to go live for the Keyshawn fight. Obviously, I was there. Probably gonna post some clips of my night. Got to meet Amanda Serrano. Got to meet Avius Griffin. I tried to meet Bud Crawford. He was a little bit too far for me to get close to him, but I tried, man. I really tried. But we got a lot to talk about, man. We're gonna start. There was a lot of boxing this weekend. It's Sunday night, about to be Monday. We had a lot of boxing this weekend. You know what I mean? We found out a lot more than we knew going into the weekend. And there's a lot to talk about. First, I want to talk about a subject that's not as important, obviously. We're going to talk about the fight on Saturday, Arnold Barbosa and Jack Catterall. Now, I thought going into this fight, it was a very even fight. And I kept telling my friend, man, there's really nothing special about Jack Catterall. I was happy for him when he beat Josh Taylor. I thought he beat him twice, and he did. You know, he had a very rather impressive win against Regis Prograis, even though I thought Regis had his moments. But every time I watch Jack Catterall, I see negative. You know, I see a fighter that's good, but he does too many negative things. Like he backs up. He gives his opponent way too many opportunities to, take the rounds and stuff like that. And for those reasons, I've never been a huge Jack Catterall fan. That being said, Jack's a good fighter. He's got some pop. He's tough, and he's going to be in there. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we had Arnold Barbosa. And, with Arnold Barbosa, I've never really thought Arnold Barbosa was too great. I think of him as a typical Golden Boy fighter that, Golden Boy is known for building up fighters' records, getting them to 25 to 30, 40 and 0, really lack of competition, and then they go out, fight, step up, and they lose, right? This was Arnold Barbosa's first true step up, in my opinion. Obviously, Jose Ramirez is not that good to me. I know Josh Taylor beat him for Undisputed a few years back. But to me, Jose Ramirez is not what he used to be. And you're going to see that when he fights a guy that you guys don't even think is that good in Devin Haney. When Devin Haney beats Jose Ramirez, you guys will see what I'm saying about Jose Ramirez not being what he used to be. That being said, Arnold Barbosa had a lot to overcome in this fight. You're going to Manchester on an Eddie Hearn show in Jack's hometown. The odds are stacked against you. You know what I mean? I'm not an Arnold Barbosa fan. I've never been an Arnold Barbosa fan. But I will admit, for this fight, I'd absolutely cheer for Arnold Barbosa because I don't like Jack Catterall. And I thought Arnold Barbosa did enough to win. But I kept telling my friend, I'm like, they're going to rob Arnold, man. They in Manchester. I don't see how he wins a decision if the fight's relatively close. You know what I'm saying? But the judges, for the first time in a while, man, kept it completely honest in my eyes. 115, 113, Arnold Barbosa is exactly what I had it, and that's what they called, man. Arnold Barbosa going into Manchester and beating Jack Catterall is a very impressive win. And that really makes the 140-pound division really interesting going forward. Now, either, Golden Boy can keep it in-house and have Barbosa fight maybe a Kenny Sims. There's other options out there. Or Arnold Barbosa could fight the guy he's been trying to go after for a long time, which is Teofimo Lopez. But I think that would be a bad idea if you're Arnold Barbosa. I'm telling you right now, I like Arnold. I think he's an okay fighter. Teo is too explosive and too quick. When I was watching Arnold, he hesitates too much. He's a little bit slow, and you're not. Teofimo struggles with fighters that move and run away and can really have great footwork and just can box. Like Jermaine Ortiz made Teo look bad. Sander Martin, movers. Arnold Barbosa is going to be right there. Typical Mexican, kind of flat-footed. He's going to fight you, and I don't think that's a good strategy for Teofimo Lopez. So I would have Teofimo in that fight. But it's a fight to make, man. It's a fight to make. There's a rivalry. Arnold Barbosa, about a year ago, he came up to Teofimo, walked up on him, She was talking crazy with his bodyguards, you know. So it's a fight to make. There's definitely some tension there. There's definitely some bad blood there between Arnold Barbosa and Teofimo Lopez. So that's a fight that should be made, man. But let's talk about Friday night, man. The show that I was at in Madison Square Garden. We're gonna start with one of the undercard fights. We're gonna get to the Keyshawn and Abdullah and Zayas and all that stuff, and obviously the 135-pound division and who should fight who and how that's gonna stack up. But first, I want to talk about Jared Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Jared Anderson. We hadn't seen Jared Anderson since he had been knocked out by Martin Bakole at Riyadh season about 6 months ago, right? 4 or 5 months ago, whatever that was. I forget when it was exactly. Was it in August? I think it was in August. So it was in August, September, October, November, December. 6, 7 months ago, Jared Anderson got knocked out by Martin Bakole very badly, right? And, you know, we've heard Jared Anderson on record saying he wants to retire at 26. He does not care about being heavyweight champion. You know, he's basically only in it for the money. Okay. He goes up against this guy, Mario Colias. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I am in the boxing business, you know. Top Rank actually had called me because they wanted me to find an opponent for Jared Anderson. And I had somebody, but he wanted too much money. It was this Ukrainian guy. He was 12-2, wanted too much money. So they ended up finding this Greek guy, Mario Colias, who took 50,000. That being said, this was supposed to be a tune-up fight. This was supposed to be a fight where Jared got his rhythm back. And, you know, I expected it to go 3-4 rounds. No way did I think this fight was going to distance, right? Not only did the Jared Mario Colias fight go to distance, not only did the fight go to distance, but in the 10th round, Jared Anderson almost got knocked the F out by Mario Colias. He got hit with a beautiful left hook. He was against the ropes. There was about 15 seconds left in the round. And I'm not even joking. Mario Colias was wailing on Jared Anderson. He hit him right, left, right, uppercut, bow. He was just hitting him with everything, landing. And I'm just looking at Jared. Jared looked like, I don't want to say shot, but he looks like a fighter whose punch resistance is kind of gone. Like, Mario Colias is not a puncher in the heavyweight division. He's not even a good fighter. It's supposed to be a tune-up fight. It was everything but a tune-up fight, in my opinion. Jared had to dig deep. And honestly, I had it a close fight. I thought he might have won by like 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Colias did his thing. But more importantly, Jared looked like absolute garbage, man. And I don't know where Jared goes from here, you know? Top Rank, they're tough. And if you're not serious, you're saying things like you want to retire at 26, you don't care about being champion, you only care about money, and then you come out and you perform like that. See, if you only care about money and you only care about, and you want to retire at 26 and you don't care about winning belts, that's fine if you come out and knock guys out and you're killing it. Then that's fine. But if you're coming out and you're laying eggs like he did, you can't be surprised if Top Rank ends up dropping this guy. You guys know Top Rank doesn't hesitate to drop guys. They got other heavyweights. They got Damian Nigba. They got Richard Torres. Do they really need to keep Jared Anderson? I hope they do. I pray they do, because if they keep Jared Anderson, more paydays for me in the future. But we got to be real. He's got to be in jeopardy with Top Rank right now. He's got to be after that performance. All right. But we're going to move on. Jared Anderson, I don't think can beat anybody in the top 30 right now, man. I mean, honestly, if he fought Guido Bellinelli, I'd be worried for Jared. If he fought anybody, I'd be worried. Anybody of significance, you know what I mean? So that being said, no wonder when I asked a couple fighters, y'all want to fight Jared Anderson in the heavyweight division when I was looking for a fighter, they were all quick to jump on it. Like, yeah, let me get that fight. They all want to fight Jared. You know why? Because they think he's vulnerable. It's crazy. But we're going to move on to the other fights, man. Let's talk about Abdullah Mason, man. Now, this was his first step-up fight. Fought an 8-rounder against Manuel Jaimez. If you don't know who Manuel Jaimez is, he fought Rolly Romero and went the distance. Lost every round, but went the distance. Tough guy. And Abdullah looked spectacular. Abdullah got this guy out of there in 3 rounds and really just put the pressure on Manuel from the very beginning, man. I was very impressed with Abdullah Mason. Accurate punching, power punching, good footwork. You know what I'm saying? And really just not giving Manuel Jaimez any comfortability at any point in the fight and just stopping him in the 3rd round. Very impressive win for Abdullah Mason. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm way more impressed with Abdullah Mason than I am with Carmel Moulton. A lot of people talk about Carmel Moulton. I know he's promoted by Floyd and stuff like that, but I am way more impressed with Abdullah Mason. I know Southpaw TV be saying that Carmel Moulton's way better than Abdullah Mason. He's crazy. No way. But anyway, Abdullah Mason is definitely him, man. I'm telling y'all. Moving on, though. Xander Zayas, man. He fought his undefeated guy. The undefeated guy was definitely a built-up record because when I watched this guy, what was his name? Splawa or something like that? German guy. Roy Jones was in his corner. He didn't impress me. He was a tough German, stood there to fight, didn't have really good footwork, and was really easy to hit. And once I saw that, I knew Zayas was going to get him out of there. And he did in the ninth. Impressive win. So people were asking me in the crowd, do you think Zayas is ready for the top guys at 154? And the answer to that is almost. Almost. I think one or two more fights and he'll be ready for guys like Virgil and Majumov. But he's almost there. Throws a lot of punches. But I want to see, because, Zayas does get hit, but he hasn't been in there with guys that have any power. You know what I'm saying? I want to see how his chin is. I kind of feel like it's a little rocky, but we gotta have to see. He's gonna get tested eventually. But he's a great fighter offensively, and we just gotta see, man. Moving on to the main event, the fight that I want to talk about, Keyshawn Davis. We gotta be honest. I thought, going into the fight, people were telling me how good Barenchek was. I had seen him only once. I had seen him against Emmanuel Navarrete. And against Emmanuel Navarrete, I thought, I appreciate the like button, man. Make sure y'all hit that damn like button. But I saw him against Emmanuel Navarrete, and when he won, I'm like, okay, good win, But then I watch Emmanuel Navarrete, and he's very inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes he looks good. Like, against a guy like Valdez, good style for him. He looks great. He's able to get Valdez out of there every time. But, at the first fight went the distance, but he beat the dog crap out of him. You know what I'm saying? But good style for him. He fights Barenchek. Barenchek is an awkward European fighter, right? So you got to have some slickness to beat a guy like Barenchek. And I think Navarrete is your prototypical Mexican with a little bit of length to him. So flat-footed, Barenchek was able to, do what he wanted to do. Because he is a tricky fighter. Barenchek is tricky. So my friend was comparing him to Kambosos. I actually think he's a little better than Kambosos. Footwork better than Kambosos. But I see what he's saying. It's similar to a degree. That being said, I thought that, Barenchek against Keyshawn, I was thinking, like I told people, I'm like, man, Keyshawn is the perfect style for Barenchek and obviously he was the weak link at 135. But I'm like, Barenchek, he's a little awkward, so it might take some time. I thought it was going to go a little longer than it did. I didn't think it would stop around 4. I thought it was going to go 7 or 8 rounds. I'm not going to lie. Because with a 12-round fight, I thought it would go 7 to 8. But he stopped him in the 4th round, which is an impressive win. You got to think about it. Like, he stopped Yiggit in the 7th. He didn't stop Nahir Albright, but he stopped Barenchek in the 4th. Styles make fights, but it's a good win nonetheless. And you heard Keyshawn after the fight. The most tricky part was the in and out movement by Barenchek. That being said, he's now got a belt. Now we know our 4 champions in the 135-pound division. We got Vasily Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Keyshawn Davis. Now we already know that Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson will never fight each other. So now that leaves us with the questions that everyone wants to know. Who is going to fight each other at 135? Who is going to unify? In every weight class, the goal is to become undisputed. At least I thought it was. To make money and become undisputed. Those are the 2 goals. So, to me, with Keyshawn and Shakur not fighting each other, that means we can't have an undisputed champion. We could still have a unified champion. Gervonta's fighting Lamont Roach in a month. After that fight takes place, he said he's going to call somebody out after his fight. We got to see who that's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is whispering in my ear that they don't think it's going to be Keyshawn Davis. Nah, it's not going to be Keyshawn. Trust me, it's not going to be Keyshawn Davis. It might not be Keyshawn. It might not be Shakur. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Lomachenko. Lomachenko hasn't said anything, man. Like, Lomachenko's been very quiet, but he's always been that kind of guy. I wouldn't even be surprised if he retired. I don't know what Lomachenko's going to do, man. He knows he'll get robbed against any of those guys in America anyway. I don't see why he would fight those guys. He had a great career. I want to see Keyshawn versus Gervonta. I think that's the most exciting fight to make in the 135-pound division. You know what I'm saying? Shakur versus Tank, I still think that's a great chess match. I think it's a great fight. But I think Keyshawn versus Gervonta is fireworks. I think it's just fireworks. Just simple as that. Like, you're gonna get two explosive black young fighters in their prime that know what they're doing, and it's just gonna be a great fight. I'm telling you, man. Like, that's the fight we need to see. Is Keyshawn Davis and Gervonta Davis. Will we get it? It's on Gervonta Davis. Y'all know the answer to that, man. It's on Gervonta. Gervonta's got to be the one that he's the A side. It's always been on the A side. Pacquiao and Mayweather fought because Mayweather said, "Let's fight." It's the same thing with Gervonta Davis and Keyshawn Davis, man. Gervonta got to say, "Let's fight," man. It is what it is. I've heard Gervonta on record say, I'm about to retire, stuff like that soon. So just don't know, man. Look, we got a great show next week. Arthur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, main event. Riot season. I'm excited. What they call this? The last Christian? No, this is not the last Christian. No, they got a name for it. I can't remember. But I'm excited, man. It's a great card. You got such a loaded card. And I'm gonna make my predictions on here right now. You know what I'm saying? My early fight predictions. Let's see if I get them right. Come Saturday, you might want to post some bets, but these are just my predictions. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna explain every fight. The first fight being Zhang and Caballero. Now, I thought about this fight a lot. Now, this fight can go Zhang can win this fight, but he's going to have to knock Caballero out. If he doesn't knock Caballero out, I think Caballero's going to outbox him. I just think Zhang's a little slow. I saw what Joseph Parker was able to do to him. And Caballero, to me, in my opinion, I know this sounds crazy, might be a little bit younger and better than Joseph Parker. So I kind of think Caballero going to win the fight. I'm picking Caballero over Zhilei Zhang in the first fight. In the second fight, Shakur and Floyd Schofield. I think Floyd Schofield, I respect the young lion. You know what I'm saying? He's a young, athletic black fighter in his prime. And he's undefeated. And he really didn't have to go this route this early because they were trying to build him. But he pushed for this fight for so long, for like 2 weeks straight. So he got the fight. He wanted this fight. His dad was talking all that shit. So we're here. And with that all being said, I just think he picked this fight too soon. He lunges in a lot. Shakur's going to capitalize on that. It's not going to be a great, exciting fight. It might be an exciting fight. We're going to see. But I'm picking Shakur Stevenson. No ifs or buts about it. In the next fight, Callum Smith and Buatsi. I really don't care about that fight too much. I'm not going to lie. But I am going to watch that fight. I got Buatsi in that fight. I just think Callum Smith might be a dead man walking after that beating he took from Beterbiev. I just haven't seen him since then, and I just feel like he took a beating. And then between Virgil Ortiz and Israel Madrimov, I really do think Madrimov gonna win that fight, but I think they're gonna rob him. I think they're gonna give it to Virgil, and I think they gonna give Virgil the decision. But I think Madrimov, it's gonna be a close. That might be the closest fight of the night. That in the main event. I really think those are gonna be the closest fights of the night. Between Dubois and Joseph Parker, my favorite fight of the night. I got my boy who's been winning me money for a year straight. You know what I'm saying? So I got in the Madrimov fight, I think Madrimov gonna outbox Virgil, but they're gonna rob Madrimov. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Hearn never win on these type of shows. But with Dubois and Joseph Parker, I really think Dubois gonna knock him out, man. Joseph Parker struggles with power. When he fought Zhang, yeah, he won the fight, but he got knocked down twice. Dubois is younger than Zhang. He's faster than Zhang. He got more wisdom. He on a hotter streak than Zhang. You feel me? He in his bag right now, bro. Like, Dubois is in his bag. He might be the best heavyweight in the world right now. Y'all sleeping on Dubois, man. I want to see Dubois versus Usyk again. Like, that's what I want to see. But I got Dubois. Over Joseph Parker. I'm betting that fight. You better believe I'm betting that fight. And then in the main event, we got Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev, man. And honestly, I'm picking my boy Bivol again. But I think they're going to rob him, man. There's a lot of biasness in the Riot and on the Riot cards. And I feel like They just gonna end up giving it to Beterbiev, man. I think Beterbiev, you know what I'm saying? Beterbiev gonna do his thing. You know, it's gonna be similar to the first fight. I really think Beterbiev and Bivol gonna be similar to the first fight, but I'm just picking. I'm picking Bivol, man. I think Bivol could outbox Beterbiev, but they're gonna give it to Beterbiev, man. You already know how this shit go, man. But those are my predictions for the Royale card. It's a stat one. And after Shakur, you know, finishes business against Floyd, and Gervonta beats Lamont, let's see what happens, man. You know, it's a lot that could be made, man. All right, y'all. I'm gone. Peace. Make sure y'all hit that like button too, man. Y'all already know how that shit go.